Good morning. Victorians have been dealt a blow with 9 new infections and questions over if the lockdown will end on Thursday. Let's go straight to Brett McLeod. Brett, good morning to you. What do we know about these new cases?
Well, we do know in Melbourne that when that number came out this morning of 11, I think you felt the shoulders of the entire city slump at seeing that. That's the highest number we've seen during this outbreak. However, 2 of them we did know about from yesterday. They're both in aged care and contained. And the good news came through just after 11 o'clock this morning, or at least better news, that all the other remaining cases today are linked. And in fact, 8 of them had already been quarantining. They were close household contacts. So some bit of good news there. On the back of 25,000 test results, a bit lower than we've seen in previous days, but at least there's still plenty of Melburnians getting tested, as we're being encouraged to do. We're going to find out sometime in the next 15 minutes. We'll get some senior figures coming out to speak from the Victorian government to give us more details about these numbers. And also the question of what happens next to the lockdown. We'll have the Health Minister, we'll have the Chief Health Officer, Brett Sutton, and the Head of Testing running us through today's figures, because now it's Monday. The lockdown currently is due to end at midnight on Thursday. Everyone here is anxiously waiting to find out if that is likely to continue. I doubt we'll get an announcement today on whether the lockdown will end as planned, but at least some indication would be a reward for a lot of Melburnians doing it incredibly tough over the past 10 days. Professor Sharon Lewin from the Doherty Institute, one of the leading lights when it comes to discovering more about this pandemic and telling us about it, was on the Today Show this morning, and she was, before these figures came out, cautiously optimistic.
The signs are good. We're not identifying new chains of transmission. Most of the new infections that have been identified over the weekend were related to people that are already in quarantine or had a connection with where a positive case had been. So I'm pretty optimistic.
Now, we've also seen vaccine numbers skyrocketing in Victoria since this latest outbreak started, so that's good. However, we're also learning that Victoria has been holding back second doses to make sure they have enough supply. The trouble is, so has the Commonwealth, and the Commonwealth has told Victoria you don't need to hold back second doses. It means there's a huge supply, hundreds of thousands of doses which are not being injected because they're being held back. The Victorian government will be asked about that today, and we'll try to get some answers on that. Natalia?
All right, Brett, thank you. The Prime Minister has taken a hit in the polls amid Victoria's latest COVID-19 outbreak and criticism of the delayed vaccine rollout. We'll go live now to federal politics reporter Fiona Willan, who's in Canberra for us. Fee, Scott Morrison will be noticing today's numbers.
Well, Natalia, an election will be held sometime between August and May, so both sides of politics will be watching the numbers closely, although I don't expect either of them to admit it. The Prime Minister is out and about in Western Sydney today. He's making a roads announcement. Today's figures suggest he's suffered a setback to his personal popularity. So this is coming from the latest news poll in The Australian. Let's take a look, and starting with the most notable change, which is his dissatisfaction with the Prime Minister's performance. That has climbed 5 points to 43%, bringing him closer to Anthony Albanese, whose dissatisfaction rating is 47%. In the preferred PM stakes, Scott Morrison's actually slipped slightly, but he is still well ahead of Anthony Albanese on 53 to 32. In the two-party preferred vote, well, it is neck and neck. The coalition has gained a bit of ground here, but it's within the margin of error, and the primary vote remains unchanged. The coalition is leading 41 to 36. Now, while we don't know for sure what's led to these results, they come off the back of the lockdown in Victoria, and the Prime Minister's been under pressure over quarantine and the delayed vaccine rollout. Now, will this have an impact on his chances in the election? Well, it's really too early to tell. Scott Morrison says Australians won't go to the polls until next year, but there is an old saying in politics that a Prime Minister calls an election whenever they think they can win. Natalia?
OK, we'll wait and see. Fee, thank you. The UK has confirmed it could delay its June 21 lockdown reopening if the Delta variant of coronavirus continues to cause problems. In the past week, daily cases have risen 65%, prompting a vaccination push. People are now queuing up for hours to get the jab, with this line in Scotland stretching as far as the eye could see. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's family has grown to 4 after the Duke and Duchess announced the arrival of their baby girl. We'll go straight to our US correspondent, Alison Petrowski. Ali, the couple has managed to keep the news secret for a few days.
Yeah, absolutely, Natalia. In and out of hospital without anyone knowing. Good morning to you. Wonderful news today. Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor, or Lily for short, was born here on Friday at 11:40 a.m. at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital. She weighed a healthy 7 pounds 11 ounces, Natalia, so roughly about 3.5 kilos. And the couple broke the news this morning via a statement. They said, on June 4, we were blessed with the arrival of our daughter Lily. She is more than we could have ever imagined, and we remain grateful for the love and prayers we felt from across the globe. Now, Natalia, we won't see a photo today. We probably won't see one for a few days. We understand that the couple want to maintain their privacy at the moment during this really special time. But privacy was one of the big reasons that they decided to move here to Santa Barbara. They felt that they could control the narrative. And the very fact they've managed to come here, have a baby, go home without the paparazzi snapping them, without any pictures coming out, and without ever any other media outlets breaking the news, shows that perhaps they have made that right move. The narrative has been really controversial, as you know. They had their big sit down with Oprah Winfrey in March, where there were plenty of bombshells. Meghan with damning allegations about racism within the ranks of the royal family, discussion about the colour of Archie's skin, and also battles she had with her own mental health. And then in recent weeks, we had Prince Harry talk to podcasts and appear on a documentary with Oprah, talking too about his mental health battles and how he wanted his family to break that cycle of pain. Not everyone, Natalia, is happy with the baby name. This is Piers Morgan on the Today Show this morning.
I think it's sort of quite ironic, isn't it, that you've got this couple who've been trashing the royal family and the monarchy for the last few weeks, and they've named the baby after the Queen.
But look, Natalia, babies can really bring a family together. Archie has a healthy little sister, and Lily is a healthy addition to the royal family. So some really wonderful news here today.
Yeah, it sure is lovely news. Thank you, Ali. And we're going to go straight to London now, where members of the royal family have reacted to Harry and Meghan's baby news. Here's our Europe correspondent, Ben Avery.
Well, Lilibet is the Queen's nickname within the royal family. It was given to her as a toddler because she struggled to pronounce her own name, Elizabeth. We also know that the late Prince Philip liked to call her Lilibet throughout their 73-year marriage. As for the middle name, Diana, obviously a tribute to Harry's mother, Princess Diana, who passed away 23 years ago. A statement has been released by the royal family. It says the Queen, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall and the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have been informed and are delighted with the news of the birth of a daughter for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. There have also been posts from family on social media. Charles and Camilla said, congratulations to Harry, Meghan and Archie on the arrival of baby Lilibet Diana, wishing them all well at this special time. Will and Kate have posted, we are delighted by the happy news of the arrival of baby Lily. Congratulations to Harry, Meghan and Archie. And there's also been a response from the British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, who tweeted many congratulations to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex on the birth of their daughter. A few other points to note. Lilibet is the 11th great-grandchild of the Queen. She is the 5th grandchild of Prince Charles and 8th in line to the throne.
Anastasia Palaszczuk has received a COVID-19 jab, becoming the last eligible state or territory leader to get a vaccination. The Queensland Premier and members of her team got their first dose of Pfizer this morning. Ms Palaszczuk had come under fire for delaying getting the vaccine, telling reporters last month she'd be getting her flu shot first. It comes as a new facility is set to be built in Brisbane, ramping up manufacturing, development and testing of vaccines. Ashlyn Krukellis has more.
A medical manufacturing facility will be built at Woolloongabba on Brisbane's south side. It will mean the entire vaccine process can be carried out locally. We already have scientists doing important work in terms of research, but this facility will mean that their vaccines can be tested in clinical trials here and also manufactured here. At the moment, some of this specialised work needs to be done overseas. The funding for this project has come from the state government's new Queensland Jobs Fund, and it's estimated the project will deliver around 500 jobs over the next decade. It is a long-term investment, but there's no doubt the immediate focus will be on coronavirus vaccines. Over the weekend, we saw thousands of Queenslanders turn up to receive their COVID-19 jab as part of a blitz. While the blitz has officially ended now and many of the hubs have closed, there are still plenty of places like Logan Hospital here where people can book in to receive their vaccination.